It was a quiet Tuesday evening, the kind where people went about their lives without expecting anything unusual to happen. In cities around the world, families were having dinner, kids were finishing homework, and office workers were heading home after long days. The sky above Earth looked normal at first glance, dark clouds gathering here and there, stars beginning to peek through in some places. But then something extraordinary happened. In small towns and bustling metropolises alike, people stopped what they were doing as the sky began to shimmer. At first, it looked like heat waves rising from hot pavement on a summer day. Some thought it was just an optical illusion, or maybe a strange weather event. Others wondered if it was the northern lights appearing unusually far south. But soon it became clear that this was no ordinary phenomenon. The clouds parted unnaturally, almost as if an invisible hand had pulled them aside. And behind them, massive shapes loomed silently above the earth. These weren't birds, planes, or satellites. They were enormous ships, sleek, metallic, and otherworldly. Their surfaces gleamed with an eerie light, reflecting faint glimmers of the setting sun. People stared up in awe, their mouths hanging open as they tried to process what they were seeing. Were these alien spacecraft? Had humanity finally been discovered by beings from another world? News outlets scrambled to cover the event. Reporters stood outside studios pointing cameras toward the sky while struggling to explain what was happening. Social media exploded with videos and photos of the mysterious ships hovering over famous landmarks. The Eiffel Tower, the statue of Liberty Mount Fuji. Everyone wanted answers, but no one had any. In New York City, Dr. Elena Carter sat hunched over her desk inside her lab at Columbia University. She was an astrophysicist who had spent years studying anomalies in space, searching for signs of extraterrestrial life. Her walls were covered with charts, equations, and photographs of distant galaxies. Tonight, however, she wasn't focused on her work. Like everyone else, her attention was drawn to the window. Elena watched as the largest ship slowly positioned itself directly above Manhattan. It was so big that it blocked out part of the night sky, casting a shadow over the city below. Despite its size, it moved with incredible precision, as though controlled by forces beyond human understanding. What struck Elena most, though, was how quiet everything was. There were no loud engines roaring overhead, no sonic booms shaking buildings, just silence, and that made it all the more unsettling. As panic started spreading through the streets below, Elena noticed something odd. The ships weren't moving closer to Earth's surface. Instead, they seemed to be waiting, hovering motionlessly, as if unsure of what to do next. This observation puzzled her. If these visitors had traveled across unimaginable distances to reach Earth, why would they hesitate now? Why not land immediately or send signals to communicate? Curiosity got the better of her, and Elena decided to investigate further. Grabbing her laptop, she opened several programs designed to analyze electromagnetic frequencies and detect patterns in cosmic radiation. Maybe, just maybe, the aliens were already trying to talk to humanity, but in ways too subtle for the average person to notice. Hours passed as Elena worked tirelessly, poring over data and running simulations. Outside, chaos continued to unfold. Crowds gathered in parks and squares, pointing upward and shouting theories about invasions or divine interventions. Governments issued statements urging calm, but fear was spreading faster than reassurance. Parents held their children close, wondering if this was the end of the world as they knew it. Then, just as Elena was about to give up for the night, her computer screen lit up with a series of strange signals. They weren't random bursts of energy. They followed a pattern, repeating every few seconds. Heart racing, Elena realized she might be onto something. These could be attempts at communication from the alien ships themselves. She quickly recorded the signals and began translating them using algorithms she'd developed during her research. It wasn't easy. The language, if you could call it that, was unlike anything she'd encountered before. Still, fragments of meaning began to emerge. Words like observe, assess, and potential appeared on her screen. Whatever these beings wanted, they hadn't come to conquer. Not yet, anyway. Elena felt a mix of excitement and dread. On one hand, This discovery confirmed her lifelong dream, proof of intelligent life beyond Earth. On the other hand, it raised countless questions. Who were these visitors? What did they want? And why had they chosen now to reveal themselves? As dawn approached, Elena stepped away from her desk to glance out the window again. The alien ship still hung in the sky, silent sentinels watching over a planet teetering between wonder and terror. For the first time in her career, Elena understood the weight of her role. She wasn't just a scientist anymore. She was humanity's best chance at making sense of the unknown. Little did she know the real story was only beginning. The world was holding its breath. For hours, the alien ships had remained suspended in the sky, their presence casting a shadow not only over cities but also over humanity's collective psyche. People whispered questions to each other. Were these visitors gods, invaders, or something else entirely? Governments scrambled to respond, military forces went on high alert, and scientists worked around the clock to decipher the strange signals emanating from the massive vessels. But just when it seemed like Earth was powerless against this cosmic intrusion, something unexpected happened. Far beyond Earth's atmosphere, near the dark side of the moon, movement stirred in the void of space. At first, it was faint, a flicker of light where none should exist. Then came another flash, followed by more. Slowly but surely, colossal shapes emerged from behind the lunar surface. These weren't small satellites or rockets. They were enormous starships, sleek and menacing, bristling with weapons that glowed ominously even from thousands of miles away. The ships formed a protective ring around Earth, dwarfing the alien fleet that had arrived earlier. Panic turned into shock as news of these new arrivals spread across the globe. Who owned these ships? Where had they come from? And why hadn't anyone known about them until now? The answer lay buried deep within classified files and decades-old secrets. Dr. Elena Carter, still working feverishly in her lab at Columbia University, received an urgent call from a government official she recognized only by voice. "Dr. Carter," the man said, his tone clipped and serious. "We need you to understand something critical. Those ships, they're ours." Elena froze. Her mind raced as she tried to process what she'd just heard. Ours? How could humanity possess such advanced technology without anyone knowing? Before she could ask for details, the official continued. "They're part of a project called Sentinel, developed decades ago under extreme secrecy. We'll explain everything later. Right now, we need your expertise to help us communicate with both the aliens and our own fleet." Elena agreed, though her head spun with unanswered questions. She quickly gathered her notes and rushed to a secure facility in Washington, D.C., where leaders from around the world had convened for an emergency summit. Inside the dimly lit war room, screens displayed live footage of the alien ships alongside, real-time telemetry data from Earth's newly revealed fleet. Military generals, scientists, and politicians argued heatedly about how to proceed. Some advocated for immediate aggression, while others pushed for diplomacy. Amidst the chaos, Elena stood out, not because of her authority, but because of her calm demeanor and sharp intellect. As discussions dragged on, the alien fleet finally broke its silence. A series of telepathic signals, translated into broken English through cutting-edge AI systems, echoed through the room. "We mean no harm," the message read. "We are here to observe and assess your level of development." The word sent ripples of disbelief through the group. Observe? Assess? After arriving uninvited and terrifying billions of people? Many dismissed the statement as a lie, believing the aliens were simply buying time to plan their next move. Others, however, saw an opportunity to negotiate. Elena stepped forward, addressing the assembled leaders. "If they're telling the truth," she said, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment, "then we have leverage. Our ships are clearly more advanced than theirs. They didn't expect resistance, let alone technology superior to their own. If we play this right, we might be able to turn their fear into cooperation." Her suggestion sparked debate. Some leaders worried that showing weakness would invite further hostility, while others feared escalating tensions unnecessarily. Ultimately, a compromise was reached. Earth would send a unified message, asserting its strength while offering a chance for peaceful dialogue. Elena was tasked with drafting the response, drawing on her knowledge of linguistics and interstellar communication protocols. The message was simple yet powerful. You have entered our territory without permission. Your intentions remain unclear. We demand answers, and we are prepared to defend ourselves if necessary. Accompanying the text was a visual display of Earth's star destroyers firing warning shots into empty space, showcasing their firepower without causing harm. When the transmission reached the alien fleet, the reaction was immediate. Their ships shifted positions nervously, and additional signals flooded Earth's receivers. This time the translation was clearer. We did not anticipate this level of advancement. Please, allow us to explain. It was a breakthrough, but trust remained fragile. While negotiations began, skepticism lingered on both sides. The aliens claimed they had been monitoring Earth for years, studying human behavior and technological progress. According to them, humanity had recently crossed a threshold that warranted closer observation. But why invade so openly? Why not continue spying from afar? Elena suspected there was more to the story. Late one night, as she reviewed intercepted communications between the alien ships, she noticed inconsistencies in their explanations. Certain phrases repeated themselves unnaturally, almost as if programmed. Could the aliens be lying? Or worse, were they being manipulated by someone? Or something else? As days passed, Earth's star destroyers maintained their defensive perimeter, keeping the alien fleet at bay. Meanwhile, global unity grew stronger than ever before. Nations that had once been divided now worked together, sharing resources and intelligence to protect the planet. Ordinary citizens took pride in humanity's resilience, marveling at the sight of their own starships guarding the skies. Social media buzzed with hashtags like Earth United and Our Humanity Strong, while news outlets hailed the emergence of Earth's fleet as a turning point in history. But not everyone celebrated. Conspiracy theories spread rapidly, claiming the government had known about the alien threat all along and kept it hidden from the public. Protests erupted in major cities demanding transparency and accountability. Some accused world leaders of prioritizing secrecy over safety, while others questioned whether the alien ships were truly extraterrestrial or part of some elaborate hoax. Amidst the turmoil, Elena found herself torn between two worlds. On one hand, she was proud of humanity's achievements, the ingenuity and determination that had led to the creation of Project Sentinel. On the other hand, she couldn't shake the feeling that they were missing something crucial: the aliens' nervousness, their evasive answers, the mysterious origins of Earth's fleet. It all pointed to a deeper mystery waiting to be uncovered. One evening, as Elena sifted through declassified documents provided by the government, she stumbled upon a name that sent chills down her spine: Victor Langstrom. He was a billionaire inventor who had disappeared decades ago under mysterious circumstances. According to the files, Langstrom had single-handedly funded the construction of Earth's star destroyers, pouring his entire fortune into the project after intercepting faint signals from outer space. His vision was clear: prepare Earth for an inevitable encounter with extraterrestrial life. But why had he acted alone? And what had become of him? Elena realized that Langstrom's legacy extended far beyond the ships themselves. Hidden within his notes were clues about ancient civilizations, cryptic warnings, and alliances forged in secret. As she pieced together fragments of information, a chilling possibility emerged. The current alien fleet might not be the real threat. Something far greater, and far older, could be lurking in the shadows of the cosmos. For now, though, humanity stood united, its star destroyers a symbol of hope and defiance. Whether peace would prevail or war would erupt remained uncertain. But one thing was clear: Earth was no longer alone in the universe, and it would never be the same again. As the days turned into weeks, Elena Carter found herself at the center of humanity's most extraordinary moment. The alien fleet continued to hover above Earth, their ships silent and unmoving, as if they were waiting for something, or someone, to make the next move. Meanwhile, Earth star destroyers circled the planet like vigilant guardians, their presence a constant reminder of humanity's newfound power. Negotiations between humans and aliens proceeded cautiously, with both sides exchanging messages through carefully crafted transmissions. But despite the progress, Elena couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to this story than met the eye. Late one night, after another long day of meetings and research, Elena sat alone in her makeshift office inside the secure facility in Washington, D.C. The room was cluttered with papers, laptops, and half-empty coffee cups, evidence of the relentless work she'd been doing. Her eyes fell on a stack of declassified documents provided by the government, files related to Project Sentinel, the top-secret initiative that had built Earth's star destroyers. She had already skimmed through much of the material, but one name kept appearing over and over again: Victor Langstrom. Langstrom was a name she vaguely remembered from history books, a billionaire inventor who had revolutionized technology in the late 20th century. Known for his eccentric personality and bold ideas, he had funded groundbreaking projects in robotics, artificial intelligence, and space exploration. But what intrigued Elena most was the fact that Langstrom had vanished without a trace decades ago, leaving behind only rumors of his involvement in classified military programs. Now it seemed those rumors were true, and Langstrom's legacy was far greater than anyone had imagined. Elena picked up a thick folder labeled Project Sentinel Founders Notes and began flipping through its pages. What she found inside stunned her. Langstrom hadn't just funded the construction of the star destroyers. He had designed them himself, using advanced engineering techniques and materials that didn't exist at the time. His notes revealed an obsession with extraterrestrial life, detailing how he had intercepted faint signals from deep space years before anyone else even suspected intelligent life existed beyond Earth. These signals, according to Langstrom, contained warnings about a looming threat, an ancient empire bent on conquering all civilizations in the galaxy. At first, Elena thought these claims sounded like science fiction, but as she delved deeper into Langstrom's writings, she discovered fragments of encrypted messages he had decoded. Some of these messages described strange creatures capable of manipulating energy and time itself. Others spoke of alliances, formed between different species to resist the Empire's tyranny. It was as if Langstrom had been part of a secret network spanning not just nations but entire worlds. The more Elena read, the more convinced she became that Langstrom had known about the aliens' arrival long before it happened. He had anticipated their visit, or perhaps even orchestrated it. One passage in particular caught her attention. If we are to survive, we must act now. The Zetherians will come, and when they do, they will show no mercy. Humanity cannot face them alone. We need allies, but we also need weapons. Project Sentinel is our insurance policy. Let us hope it is enough. Elena's heart raced as she processed the implications. The Zetherians? Could this be the greater threat Langstrom had warned about? If so, why hadn't the aliens mentioned them during negotiations? Was it possible that the current fleet wasn't here to invade Earth but to escape the Zetherians themselves? Her thoughts were interrupted by a knock on the door. It was General Marcus Hayes, the head of Earth's defense operations. A tall, stern man with graying hair and piercing blue eyes, Hayes had been overseeing the coordination between military forces and scientists since the crisis began. He stepped inside, closing the door behind him. "Dr. Carter," he said, his voice low and urgent. "We've uncovered something you need to see." Elena followed him to a secure briefing room, where a team of analysts was gathered around a large screen displaying a series of intercepted communications. The messages came not from the alien fleet, but from deep space, far beyond Earth's solar system. They were fragmented and distorted, but the translators had managed to piece together key phrases: "Flee while you can," "They are coming," and "Earth is not safe." Hayes turned to Elena. "We believe these transmissions are from the same source Langstrom referenced in his notes, the Zetherians. Whoever, or whatever, they are, they're heading this way, and based on the trajectory data, they'll reach Earth within months. The room fell silent as everyone absorbed the gravity of the situation. Elena felt a chill run down her spine. If the Zetherians were real, then humanity's problems were far from over. The alien fleet currently orbiting Earth might not be enemies, but they weren't exactly friends either. Their nervousness suddenly made sense. Perhaps they really were refugees fleeing a greater danger. "What do we do?" one of the analysts asked, breaking the silence. Elena took a deep breath. "We prepare," she said firmly. "But preparation isn't just about weapons, it's about understanding. We need to learn everything we can about the Zetherians, and fast. That means working with the aliens whether we trust them or not." Hayes nodded. "Agreed. I'll authorize joint research teams to collaborate with their engineers and scientists. Maybe together, we can develop a strategy to defend Earth." Over. The next few days, Elena threw herself into the effort. Alongside a group of human and alien experts, she analyzed the intercepted transmissions, studied the design of the alien ships, and explored ways to integrate their technology with Earth's star destroyers. The process was challenging, not only because of language barriers, but also because of the deep-seated mistrust between the two groups. The aliens were reluctant to share certain details, fearing betrayal, while some human leaders viewed collaboration as a risk to national security. Despite these obstacles, progress was made. Together, they identified vulnerabilities in the Zetherian fleet's weaponry and devised countermeasures to neutralize their attacks. They also discovered that the aliens possessed knowledge of hyperspace travel, which could allow Earth's ships to intercept the Zetherians before they reached the planet. But, as plans took shape, Elena couldn't ignore the growing unease among her colleagues. Not everyone believed the alien story about fleeing the Zetherians. Some argued that the entire scenario was a ploy to weaken Earth's defenses. Others speculated that the Zetherians didn't exist at all, that the aliens were simply trying to buy time to launch their own invasion. Elena knew skepticism was natural, especially given the stakes, but she also knew that fear could cloud judgment. If humanity let paranoia dictate its actions, it would lose the opportunity to forge a powerful alliance, one that might be crucial for survival. One evening, as Elena reviewed the latest updates on the project, she received a call from an unexpected source, a former colleague named Dr. James Patel. Patel had worked with her years ago on a failed attempt to detect extraterrestrial signals. Back then, he had dismissed her theories as wishful thinking. Now his tone was apologetic and desperate. "Elena," he said, his voice trembling, "I need your help. There's something I should have told you a long time ago." "What is it?" she asked, her curiosity piqued. "It's about Victor Langstrom. Before he disappeared, he contacted me. He said he had proof of extraterrestrial life and that humanity wasn't ready for the truth. He gave me a device, something he called a key. I didn't understand its purpose until now. But if what you're saying is true, if the Zetherians are real, then this key might hold the answers we need." Elena's mind raced. Could Patel's device unlock more secrets about Langstrom's work? Or was it a trap meant to derail humanity's efforts? Either way, she knew she had to find out. "I'll meet you tomorrow," she said. "Bring the key." As she hung up the phone, Elena stared out the window at the alien ships hovering silently above Earth. For the first time since the crisis began, she felt a glimmer of hope. Whatever challenges lay ahead, humanity wasn't facing them alone. With courage, ingenuity, and cooperation, they might just stand a chance against the darkness lurking beyond the stars. The following morning, Elena Carter met Dr. James Patel at a secluded airstrip outside Washington, D.C. The sky was overcast, and a cold wind swept across the tarmac as they shook hands. Patel looked older than Elena remembered. His once dark hair now streaked with gray, his face lined with worry. He carried a small metal case, its surface scratched and worn from years of neglect. "This is it," Patel said, handing her the case. "Langstrom's key. I don't know what's inside or how to use it, but he swore it would change everything." Elena nodded, her heart pounding with anticipation. She opened the case carefully, revealing a sleek device no larger than a smartphone. It had no buttons or screens, just a smooth metallic surface etched with intricate patterns that seemed to shimmer faintly in the dim light. Elena ran her fingers over the markings, feeling a strange warmth emanating from the object. Whatever this was, it wasn't ordinary technology. "We need to take this back to the lab," she said firmly. "If this thing holds answers about the Zetherians, or even Langstrom's true intentions, we can't waste any time." Patel agreed, and, together they boarded a private jet bound for New York City, where Elena's research team awaited them. As the plane ascended into the clouds, Elena couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and dread. What secrets did the key hold? And more importantly, could humanity handle the truth? Back at Columbia University, Elena gathered her most trusted colleagues to examine the device. They set up a secure workstation equipped with advanced scanning tools and decryption software. For hours, they analyzed every inch of the key, searching for hidden mechanisms or embedded codes. Finally, one of the researchers noticed something peculiar. When exposed to specific frequencies of electromagnetic radiation, the patterns on the key began to glow brighter, forming what appeared to be coordinates. "Coordinates," Elena murmured, leaning closer to the screen displaying the decrypted data. Could these lead us to something Langstrom left behind? Her team cross-referenced the numbers with star charts and satellite imagery. To their astonishment, the coordinates pointed to a remote location deep within Earth's solar system, a barren moon orbiting Jupiter known as Europa. Long theorized to harbor liquid oceans beneath its icy crust, Europa had been a focal point of scientific exploration for decades, but according to Langstrom's key, there was more to the moon than anyone realized. Elena immediately contacted General Hayes to share the discovery. After a brief but intense discussion, it was decided that a reconnaissance mission would be launched to investigate the site. A small team, including Elena herself, would travel aboard one of Earth's star destroyers to Europa, accompanied by a contingent of alien engineers who claimed to have experience deciphering ancient technologies. As preparations for the mission got underway, tensions on Earth reached a boiling point. News of the impending arrival of the Zetherians had leaked to the public, sparking widespread panic. Protests erupted in major cities, with citizens demanding transparency from their governments. Some called for preemptive strikes against the aliens still hovering above Earth, believing they were secretly working with the Zetherians. Others urged peace, arguing that humanity stood a better chance of survival if it united with the aliens, rather than fought them. Amidst the chaos, cracks began forming within Earth's leadership. Certain nations grew wary of sharing resources and intelligence, fearing betrayal by their allies. Military commanders clashed with scientists over whether to prioritize defense or diplomacy. Even within Elena's own team, disagreements arose about the best course of action. Trust, already fragile, was beginning to erode. Despite these challenges, Elena remained focused on the mission ahead. She knew that uncovering Langstrom's secrets could provide humanity with the edge it needed to face the Zetherians. But as the Star Destroyer prepared for launch, an unexpected complication arose. One of the alien engineers assigned to the mission approached Elena privately. His name was Kyle, and though his species lacked facial expressions recognizable to humans, his body language conveyed unease. Through a translator device, Kyle revealed troubling information. Not all members of the alien fleet were loyal to their leaders. A faction within their ranks believed Earth posed too great a risk and sought to sabotage the alliance. Worse still, Kale suspected that some of his own kind might already be working with the Zetherians. Elena listened intently, her mind racing. If Kale was telling the truth, then the mission to Europa, and possibly Earth's entire defense strategy, was compromised. But how could she verify his claims without causing further distrust among the aliens? "I'll speak to General Hayes," she told Kale. "In the meantime, keep this between us. We can't afford to lose focus now." Kale nodded solemnly before returning to his duties. Elena watched him go, her thoughts swirling with uncertainty. Was he sincere, or was this another ploy to sow discord? Either way, the stakes had never been higher. The journey to Europa took several days, during which Elena worked tirelessly to prepare for whatever awaited them. Using Langstrom's key, Her team pinpointed the exact location of the hidden facility buried beneath the moon's icy surface. Satellite scans suggested it was massive, spanning kilometers underground. Whatever Langstrom had built here, it was designed to last and remain hidden for centuries. When the Star Destroyer finally entered Europa's orbit, the crew deployed a drilling probe to penetrate the thick ice covering the site. Hours passed, as the probe descended deeper into the frozen expanse. Finally, it broke through, revealing a cavernous chamber illuminated by faint blue lights. Inside, towering machines hummed with energy, their surfaces engraved with symbols identical to those on Langstrom's key. Elena led the expedition team onto the surface, clad in specialized suits designed to withstand Europa's harsh environment. As they entered the facility, they discovered evidence of Langstrom's genius and his paranoia. Holographic recordings played automatically, showing Langstrom explaining his work. He spoke of encountering extraterrestrial beings decades ago, not the aliens currently orbiting Earth, but others who warned him of the Zetherians' existence. These beings had shared knowledge of advanced technologies, enabling Langstrom to create Project Sentinel. In return, he promised to safeguard humanity's future, but the recordings also hinted at betrayal. Langstrom accused certain members of Earth's elite, powerful politicians, corporate leaders, and military officials of undermining his efforts. He claimed they feared losing control and deliberately sabotaged his attempts to unite humanity under a common cause. Before vanishing, Langstrom had sealed away his greatest invention, a weapon capable of neutralizing the Zetherians' superior technology. However, activating it required solving a series of complex puzzles, ensuring only those worthy could wield its power. As Elena and her team explored the facility, they encountered one puzzle after another. Each challenge tested their ingenuity, teamwork, and moral compass. At times, frustration mounted as solutions eluded them. But Elena reminded everyone why they were there, to protect Earth, no matter the cost. Meanwhile, suspicions continued. To mount aboard the Star Destroyer, several alien engineers disappeared without explanation, fueling fears of sabotage. When communications with Earth briefly faltered due to interference, panic spread among the crew. Were they being attacked? Or had someone tampered with their systems? Elena faced mounting pressure to abandon the mission and return home, but she refused, knowing that failure meant leaving humanity vulnerable to the Zetherians. With determination burning in her eyes, she pressed forward, determined to unlock Langstrom's final secret and ensure that his legacy would endure. Little did she know, the greatest test of loyalty and courage was yet to come. The final puzzle in Langstrom's hidden facility was unlike anything Elena and her team had encountered before. It wasn't just a test of intellect or technical skill. It was a moral dilemma designed to reveal the true intentions of those attempting to unlock its secrets. The holographic projection of Victor Langstrom appeared once again, his voice calm but firm as he spoke. "To activate this weapon," Langstrom said, "you must prove that your motives are pure. Humanity has faced countless challenges throughout history, yet too often greed, fear, and division have led to ruin. If you seek to use this power for destruction or selfish gain, it will remain forever out of reach." The room shifted around them, transforming into a simulation of Earth's surface. Cities burned, oceans boiled, and skies turned black with ash. The devastation was horrifyingly real, forcing everyone present to confront the consequences of failure or misuse of the weapon. One by one, each member of the team was asked to make a choice. Would they prioritize saving humanity at any cost, even if it meant sacrificing others? Or would they strive for unity, cooperation, and peace? Elena stepped forward first. Her decision came quickly. She chose to protect not only humanity but also the alien refugees who had sought asylum on Earth. For her, survival wasn't about dominance. It was about ensuring that all intelligent life could coexist. When she made her choice, the simulation responded. A faint light began to glow from the device at the center of the chamber. Others followed suit, though not without hesitation. Some members of the team struggled with their decisions, torn between personal fears and the greater good. But ultimately, every individual committed to working together, proving that trust and collaboration were possible even among unlikely allies. As the last person completed the puzzle, the glowing light erupted into a brilliant beam that filled the cavern, signaling the activation of Langstrom's weapon. At the same time, chaos erupted aboard the Star Destroyer orbiting Europa. The missing alien engineers reappeared, revealing themselves as part of the faction Kale had warned about. They had secretly tampered with the ship's systems, cutting off communication with Earth and attempting to sabotage the mission. A tense standoff ensued, with both human and alien crew members scrambling to regain control. Kyle played a critical role, rallying loyalists to counteract the traitors' efforts. In the end, teamwork prevailed, and the saboteurs were neutralized, but not before sending a distress signal to the Cytherians. Back inside the facility, Elena and her team emerged victorious, but weary. The weapon now rested in their hands, ready to be deployed against the Cytherians. However, there was no time to celebrate. Sensors indicated that the Cytherian fleet was approaching faster than expected, likely drawn by the saboteurs' transmission. With little time to spare, Elena contacted General Hayes via the restored communications link. "We've done it," she reported, her voice steady despite exhaustion. "Langstrom's weapon is operational, but we need to act fast. The Cytherians are almost here." Hayes wasted no time mobilizing Earth's forces. Using data provided by the aliens, they recalibrated the Star Destroyer's targeting systems to integrate the new weapon. Meanwhile, Elena returned to Earth aboard the Star Destroyer, bringing the device with her. Upon arrival, she joined military strategists and scientists in finalizing plans for what would undoubtedly be humanity's most critical battle. When the Cytherians finally arrived, their fleet dwarfed anything humanity or the alien refugees had ever seen. Massive warships stretched across the sky, their hulls bristling with weapons capable of obliterating entire planets. The sight alone was enough to send shivers down the spines of even the bravest soldiers. Yet instead of attacking immediately, the Cytherians paused, studying Earth's defenses with cold calculation. "They're assessing us," Elena explained during a live broadcast to global leaders. "They didn't expect resistance like this. We have to strike now while they're vulnerable." With Elena's guidance, Earth launched its counterattack. The Star Destroyers unleashed Langstrom's weapon, emitting pulses of energy that disrupted the Cytherians' advanced technology. Ships that moments ago seemed invincible suddenly faltered, their shields collapsing and engines sputtering. The tide of the battle shifted dramatically as Earth's forces pressed their advantage, driving the Cytherians back toward the edge of the solar system. But victory came at a cost. Several Star Destroyers were lost in the fight, along with countless lives. Among the fallen was Kale, who sacrificed himself to save Elena during a critical moment in the battle. His bravery inspired both humans and aliens alike, cementing his place as a hero in the shared history of two species. As the Cytherian fleet retreated into deep space, never to return, a collective sigh of relief swept across Earth. The immediate threat had been neutralized, but the scars of war lingered. Cities lay in ruins. Economies teetered on the brink of collapse, and millions mourned loved ones lost in the conflict. Yet amidst the devastation, there was hope. Humanity had proven itself capable of standing toe-to-toe with the greatest threats the universe could throw at it, and emerging victorious. In the weeks that followed, Earth entered a new era of unity and discovery. The alien refugees, grateful for humanity's protection, shared their knowledge and culture openly. Together, humans and aliens worked to rebuild what had been destroyed, forging bonds stronger than anyone thought possible. Advances in medicine, energy, and transportation transformed daily life, ushering in an age of unprecedented prosperity. Elena Carter became a symbol of this new chapter in human history. Once an ordinary scientist, she was now hailed as a legend, a woman whose courage and ingenuity had saved billions of lives. People referred to her not just as Dr. Carter, but as the Guardian of Earth. Statues were erected in her honor. Books were written about her journey, and children dreamed of following in her footsteps. Yet for Elena, fame held little appeal. She continued her work quietly, dedicating herself to unraveling the mysteries of the cosmos. Langstrom's notes revealed hints of other civilizations scattered throughout the galaxy, some friendly, others hostile. Armed with newfound knowledge and technology, humanity prepared to venture beyond its solar system, seeking allies and exploring uncharted territories. One evening, as Elena stood beneath a star-filled sky, she reflected on how far they'd come. From the moment the alien ships first appeared, splitting the heavens open, to the climactic battle against the Zetherians, every step had tested humanity's resolve. Yet through it all, one truth remained clear. When faced with overwhelming odds, people were capable of extraordinary things. "Victor," she whispered, looking up at the stars as if speaking directly to Langstrom, "you gave us a chance. Now it's our turn to make the most of it." And so humanity took its first steps toward the stars, not as conquerors, but as explorers, guided by curiosity, compassion, and the enduring belief that even in the vastness of space, legends are born from acts of courage and hope.